What's up, audit fans? Today I want to share with you some new resources and a new layout from a really important player in audit in Australia, the Auditing and Assurance Standards Board. I happened to jump onto their website the other day to check something for my students for their upcoming exam, and whoa, I noticed a brand new layout. So today's video, I'm going to give you a tour. They haven't published anything about this on their LinkedIn page or anywhere else, so this might be a bit of a scoop here of what you can see, what you can do, and the new features within the AUASB website. Let's jump in. Hi and welcome. For all those people who are new, my name is Amanda. I do love to audit, and I teach audit to undergrads at a major Australian university. Now, as a disclaimer, I was previously an AUASB academic scholar working with the AUASB on communications and how we can communicate to the general public better about what we do and its importance. However, they have no idea I am making this video. This is totally independent, my views. They did not ask me to make this video, and they haven't even published information saying, hey, we have a brand new standards portal, and telling anybody about it. So this is a bit of a scoop potentially, but I'm loving the new portal. Let's jump in. Okay, so when you go into the AUASB website, you'll notice it's still that same red, that lovely red that they had, but gone is the very long columns that we used to have and the information, and that layout that sort of looked a little bit outdated and 90s-like. What you see right up the front is information about who they are, standards, projects, etc. There's lots of featured information, so if you're after up-to-date information on COVID-19, news, things that are happening, meetings, etc., all of that is there as well. But if you're a student or you're studying audit for a professional qualification or a university qualification, the bit that's going to be really important is right here, the AUASB Standards Portal. So let's go in and have a look. So on the standards portal, we have some basic information. There's across the top, different types of standards. Now I'm just going to move myself over onto the other side of the screen here. So we've got recently issued standards, the auditing standards, which is what quite often we're interested in, review engagements, and then assurance engagements that are not audits. You'll see those there. So your ESG, corporate social responsibility, environmental stuff is all going to be there. So when you look down the standards, those same areas up the top, you'll find also down the bottom, review engagements, assurance engagements, related services, and guidance statements are all there. But the bit that I'm normally most interested in is this section here that says standards. Now, this button isn't quite resizing. Hang on, let me just see if I can. Oh yeah, there you go. If I resize the screen, that's a bit of a weird thing happening. I'll give them some feedback on that, but you can explore the standards. Now, when I teach audit, I don't use a textbook. I just use these standards because these are the legally enforceable requirements under our Australian regulations, of course, harmonized internationally. So if we go into our auditing standards, you can see that now there's more clear delineation across the different series. 100, 200 for general planning, 300 and 400 for risk assessment, 500 for evidence, which is the biggest set of standards, 600s, 700s, and 800s. Now, I'm going to pick ASA 570, and that's because this is the standard my students are working on as part of a study program today. But ASA 570, I know it has a few things that I want to look at. It has a great template. It has a great flowchart that is not in the international version of the standard. But let's take a look at what the web page looks like. Now, I'm going to start on the left-hand side over here with this little menu bar. So you can click Show, gives you a bit more information. You can click Hide. When you click on the text settings, you can make it smaller, normal, or larger. Of course, it is responsive, so you can control or command plus to increase. If you don't like fonts that don't have the little tail, so I think they call them serif fonts or sans serif fonts, there are 3 different font options to choose from. You can choose Montserrat, Lato or Lato, I don't know what it's specifically called, and good old Times New Roman. Obviously, Times New Roman is how everything was printed before and is still existing in the PDFs. I like the first one, to be honest. It's a bit more clean from my setting. You can go into a table of contents that you can scroll through and quickly flick down to particular sections if you know exactly what you're looking for. And another thing that's on the side is these little dots over here. All right, so click on a dot, it opens that section. So if you hover over it, you'll see the area. So let's go into the requirements, for example. Now, here's another really great innovation that we've seen in this website. So we have to perform risk assessment procedures as required by ASA 315. But what they've done here is they've got this little, you can see this tiny little number 3 here. That's going to be a cross-reference. Now I'm going to move over here myself. Click that cross-reference. Look, on the left, right-hand side, it opens up a new window that says, oh, actually, this is the standard. And if, hey, I want to see this paragraph 5, is it going to take me to a brand new window? No, it's going to open it up right there. So I can see ASA 570 on one side and the cross-reference to ASA 315 on the other. And these just keep stacking onto each other. So it says here, paragraph 5 of ASA 315 will actually link through and has explanatory material in paragraphs A1 to A5. So when I click on it, boom, it opens the explanatory material right there. So in the old days when you had PDFs, there was a lot of back and forth and flicking, and it just became a nightmare to the point where you wanted to print them out so that you could actually write down this information or flick between the pages. So that's really fantastic. Now, the other thing you might find is, oh, look, besides ASA 315, there is more explanatory material to explain paragraph 10. Again, I click on it, it takes me to that explanatory material, saves all that flicking in a PDF or, moving pages by hand. So that is really, really fantastic. Now you might think, Amanda, let's go down to the explanatory material, because at the end of the explanatory material, there was a fantastic flow diagram that's not inside the international version, ISA 570, I don't think. But now you can go straight to this, click, boom, in a new window, opens the flowchart and just that page. So there's just that page. I always tell my students to have a copy of this one. Another place that you can get this, if we go right back up to the top, is that you'll see on this right-hand side, you can still download the whole PDF. All right, so that's still available. You can download the templates, but when you click this going concern flowchart, it's going to open it in the same page. So if you want it to open on a different tab, just make sure that you right-click and then go open in a new tab. Otherwise, it does create a bit of that back and forth. Added to that, how awesome is this over here on the right? The AUASB guide. So they've taken relevant information about COVID and cross-referenced it in. I can imagine if there was some other relevant guidance note or information that they've put up, it would be cross-referenced here on the side. So I am loving the new standards layout. I think if you're a student or you're wanting to quickly check something, none of this downloading the PDF or opening the PDF, you can do it right here in the standards website. Now, of course, the standards board would love your feedback. So remember, if you do have some, and I've got some already to send them, make sure that you use that feedback link. I'm sure they'll really appreciate hearing from all of us about how these new standards are looking and this new standards portal. I don't know whether this portal actually exists for the AASB as well. I haven't checked this, so I'm just doing this right now. So let's go to the AASB. Yes, they also have a new portal. We can search, or let's have a look. If we go view the latest accounting standards. Oh, okay, so I have to click that button. Let's see, does it have the same? Oh, no, okay. So the AASB, the accounting standards, are not quite there yet. They've started revamping the page, but it's not quite at the same place as the awesome AUASB standards portal. I hope you liked my tour of the new AUASB portal. This will be great for online exams where you can have the AUASBs open, a lot easier than flicking through PDFs, though you may still want to download a PDF and make your own notes if you're annotating. But this is a real improvement. The previous website looked like it hadn't been improved since the 90s. I think it may have been built in the 90s and just not updated, or it was stuck in a particular architecture and framework. So this is a really big move forward. And I hope this leads the way for other organizations in other countries or international standards boards to make sure that they provide standards that are accessible, that are easy to find, easy to navigate. So as always, thank you for watching. If you thought the video was useful, I'd love a thumbs up. I hope everybody is staying safe and staying well. If you haven't already, click subscribe and I'll catch you in the next video.